The Lost Art with Andrew Cox podcast. Marine Corps League and Till Valhalla Project Ambassador. Now streaming on all major podcast platforms. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast that's given a voice to our veterans. The Lost Art with Andrew Cox. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Podcast, that podcast giving a voice to our veterans. I'm your host, Andrew Cox, and today we're having a fireside chat with the crew. But before we get into the episode, or you enjoying the podcast, make sure you go hit up the website. That's thelostart.podbean.com. There's a couple ways you can help support us. You can become a patron with the monthly donation, or you can go to our merchandise tab on the website, click on that, go in there, get you a cool shirt, get you a cool hat, get you something like that. But anything you do helps support us and getting our veteran voices out for all to hear. Also, big shout out to the Till Valhalla Project. They're out there doing amazing things. I'm sure the majority of you know what that is. But if you don't, and even if you do, go check them out and try to support them as best you can. That's tillvalhallaproject.com. Are you a Marine veteran? Are you missing that bond you had on active duty? Then I have a place for you. Join the only congressionally chartered Marine Corps Veteran Service Organization, the Marine Corps League. Get that brother and sisterhood back in your life. Become one of the fewer, the prouder, a Marine Corps League member. All right, I got some of the crew here. We're going to go ahead and go round robin. Like that, I changed it up a little bit.
I see.
Yeah. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Can't complain.
Okay.
Been a long week, but I actually finally got my backyard cut yesterday.
Ooh, you're moving up.
It was pretty impressive. Which usually about a 45-minute jog took me almost 3 hours, but I got it done. So
wow,
that's
impressive.
That lawnmower was going, and it's funny because my neighbor on the other side, he's a younger guy. He's probably in his 30s. He bought the house and moved in, and he's got a smoker grill out there, and he was out smoking, and I was just cutting grass. And normally I've got a mulching mower where you just push it and it mulches grass and that. But it was so high that I had to raise it up as high as the deck, as high as I could.
Yeah.
Put the side sheet up on it and hook it on there. And instead of going back and forth, I was doing laps like this, trying to cut it. And I was talking to myself. I was like Captain Kirk and what's his name, Scotty. I'm like, I need more power. And it's like, she's giving us all she's got, Captain. I can't. It's like, I'm like, all right, pull back a little bit.
Oh, man.
No, it's in a manageable state now. If I had a couple goats, it would have cleared it out, but it was getting bad.
You got to invest in those goats,
Yeah, we've had so much rain that it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So my front yard needs cut, but it's not that bad because it's actual grass.
Yeah.
My backyard is more like field grass.
Mm.
So it was getting pretty rough where the dogs wouldn't even go out. And you put them out there and they're like, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, well, now they'll probably go out no problem.
Oh, yeah, the one, she goes out as soon as I cut it yesterday. I put everything up, got myself cleaned up, and I let them out. And the one, she went out, and she's like flopped out on her back. And she was just,
she'd been waiting for that.
It's got all that, grass that it was spitting out. And of course, She stands up, and she's a golden doodle, so she's like Velcro. There's just grass hanging all off her. I'm like, God, now I got to clean you up.
Oh, man, that's good times.
But other than that, it's been good. Been a long week, work yesterday, but
yeah,
I can't complain. All good.
All right, Mark, how about you? How you doing?
Doing outstanding. Beautiful weather here in Southern California. So it's just hard to complain about most things when this weather's just so nice.
Yeah. So do you see clouds? I mean, do you know what they are? Or?
Oh, we sure do. So there's still a little of that. You remember that when you're out here, the May gray and the June gloom.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we'll still have an overcast in the morning until like it burns off around 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the rest of the day is just gorgeous. But we've they must have had some high pressure or whatever. So there hasn't been a marine layer the last couple days. So
Wow.
just from start
Well,
to finish, beautiful.
I'm assuming you're enjoying all the outdoor activities that you can enjoy right now, especially doing the synchronized swimming. I'm sure you're synchronized swimming like at school lately.
Well, my granddaughter is, of course, yeah. But so always
Very-
around the swimming pool seems like.
yeah. Nothing wrong with that. It's good to
Yeah.
be around the pool. Yeah.
And then I had, I have two of my grandkids live with us, and then the other one that's here in San Diego, she's over here right now. So spent a couple
Uh-oh.
hours in the swimming pool just a little while ago.
Yeah.
So trying to teach her how to swim.
Ah, very nice. That's always fun right there.
Yeah.
Now, when you teach somebody how to swim, I'm imagining the scene in the John Wayne movie where he grabs that kid and throws him in,
Just
and
throws them in.
freaks out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining right now.
If it was my kid, yeah, that's how we would have done it. But
Grandpa's are like that, right?
yeah, but and my daughter, she's a swim instructor also, so she's the one handling all the instruction.
Wow. So does
Yes.
now is
She's
that
a water
also-
polo coach, a swim coach, and a swim instructor.
Say that first part again. I missed. I was talking.
She's the water polo coach for the high school, the JV girls team. She's a swim coach, and she's a swim instructor.
Dang.
Yeah.
Water polo is something I cannot even comprehend, man. I sit and watch it, like with the
tough.
Olympics and stuff, and I'm like, how the hell do you not drown?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't understand it's like, are you kidding me?
Tough sport.
Yeah. Now I ask you guys this. I mean, Andrew, you were, you were a swim qual person, and Bart, but my wife, that's what she grew up with swimming, competitive swimming.
Yeah.
She was a lifeguard, and did all that, for pools. Even when we first got married, we lived here in Georgia. She did it. I watch her jump in a pool, but she loves to get, like, we go to, go on a cruise or somewhere, if there's a beach, get in the ocean. But she does not like to get some point where she can't see the bottom, because she said the ocean scares her because she doesn't know where the bottom's at. Is that actually, between you guys? I mean, I'm like,
where the bottom is doesn't scare me, not in the ocean. It's the giant fish that are in the ocean that scare me.
Yeah. Well, she flat out says, she goes that, she loves the beach. She loves to get in the water, but she'll, where she's fine with, getting where she's got to, she can tread water for hours. I can't. I can tread water for a little bit, and I'm like, I'm sitting there doing this. I'm like, okay, let me get, I'm floating on my back kind of thing. But
I guarantee you the reason Mark's daughter is so good at swimming is because he was such a good swim instructor. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yep. See?
But but is that a thing? Between you guys? I mean, does, like,
I always
the ocean?
loved swimming. I used to do a lot of swimming and everything. So
yeah. Well, to her, she's like the ocean. She loves the ocean. She loves getting in the water, but she's like, I only go so far because she's so used to a pool. She goes, I know how deep a damn pool is.
Yeah. That's
true.
She
said, I'll go all the way down to the bottom of a 12-foot pool and come back up, or, an Olympic-sized pool, and do all that. But she's like, we're at Pendleton. We'd go out, especially when we got back from Iraq, because I was a little froggy and adventurous, and I'd sit there and get on the boogie board and do stupid shit. She's like, don't expect me to come out and pull your I was like, well, you're a lifeguard. You know how to do all that. She's like, no, I'm not coming out to get you.
She's like, you're on your own.
She said that exactly. I got a brand new pair of Oakleys, and I just got back from Iraq. We got, I put contacts back in my eyes and all that stuff. And we took the kids to the beach and, at Pendleton, and we went out and I just kept going out, and I told her son, I was like, just go back in. I'm going out, man. I just kept going out further and further. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, you're an idiot. But I'm like, oh, no, man, I got this. Man, I got wiped out. Man, I got flipped like 6 times. I was 6 feet underwater, came back up, sunglasses gone, contacts ripped out of my eyeballs. And I'm like, where am I at? Where am I at? I'm standing there looking around. And I finally got turned around, and I'm trying to get, got back. I could swim, but, I'm not by any means. I can't say that I'm a survival swimmer by any means. And got back in, and I started walking up, and I'm looking all over the place, and I'm going that way. But it had moved so far that they're this way. And I'm like, it's like Marco Polo. I'm like, Marco. I'm like, Kelly. And she's standing on the beach. She goes, we're over here, dumbass. And I'm like, okay.
Dan, hey, good evening to you too, man. I hope things are going well for you. And then Jim, it's good to see you too. No, we're not seeing you. It's good to see your comment too. Semper Fi to you. So I guess we could kind of jump into some things. There's been some crazy stuff happening this week, huh? Let's see. The latest news is we sent some bombers over and bombed the crap out of Iran. That's probably the biggest news as of late. What did you guys all see and hear on your end?
Well, my wife and I were in a restaurant, and there's the big buzz about it and everything. And so I finally looked at the TV and got the rundown on it. I thought, I knew it was coming, so I was all for it.
Yeah, and there's, where they hit 3 targets, is that right?
Yes, there's the one, that mountain fortress that was buried real deep, and then there's a couple other ones that were, a little easier access.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny, Jim. Bomb, Iran. That's nice.
It is interesting when I finally saw it, because I actually was talking to a neighbor, and he said something about it, and I came back in the house. But it was interesting to go from, I turned the TV on, and I was like, went to Fox News, and I went to CNN, and I went to MSNBC, and they were all reporting the same thing. But it was interesting how there was a different twist, on all of it. That it's something that, regardless how you want to look at it, is, none of it's good. And I see today everybody's going on about, Trump's 10 o'clock briefing last night, or whatever, State of the Union, whatever, it wasn't very long.
Yeah.
But they said, okay, now's the time for peace. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's what he said. But
it was, you need to come to the table and start negotiating.
Now's the time.
Or more will come. Or basically is what he was saying. At least what I heard.
It's amazing to see how everybody and their brothers coming out of the woodwork. Even people I know on Facebook talking about things that it's like, okay, have you stopped to look at things in history, or even the last, even since the 80s, with Beirut, this is a country that has held the world in a sense, I'm not saying they do, but in a sense, almost at hostage.
Yeah.
With the crap they want to do. So, it's a long time coming.
Oh, yeah. You just look at, they have declared war on us for forever. They've always said death to America.
Well, and that's the biggest thing is it's like, okay, well, it seems like we want to try to appease that by paying them off. It's like, really?
Yeah. Jim
So
said,
I don't wish anybody going in there. And that was one thing I was watching last night, and I've read since then that, to actually put people on the ground to go in that country is insane.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way. So,
yeah. Jim said, Trump said, choose peace or we will hit more targets even harder is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's just wild. And then to look at the different viewpoints is very interesting. Like you were saying, Mike, it's like one side and then the far other side. And it's like, there's no happy medium anywhere. And it's just amazing the different outlooks on everything, and especially the media. The media is all over the place, like you were saying.
Well, even with the media, even you go to the old biased media, the left-wing biased media, they're not showing any other Arab country screaming about us taking out a nuclear-powered Iran. They don't want, unstable leaders having that power in their region either. If they would have nuclear bombed Israel, like they said, that would be their first point. Look at all the nuclear fallout on all the countries right around Israel. Israel is a very small little area in the Middle East there. So, I mean, those other countries don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, but they're not going to be the ones to take the first step to do something against another Islamic country like themselves.
Yeah, very true. And and they, of course, they've been fighting for years and years and years, and it's the same stuff over and over. It's just now it's building to bigger and better weapons and those types of things. And you're right, if a nuclear bomb goes off in Israel, everybody over there is going to feel it.
Right.
Like they're going to get an aftermath of that explosion somehow, some way. I mean, they may not get the full effect of it, but they're going to get something.
They're going to get a lot of bad effect.
Yeah. One thing that I did appreciate was Trump. He said he came on and he was like, "I'm going to give them 2 weeks. I'm going to think on it 2 weeks, whatever."
Yeah.
And then like the next day or whatever, he's like, boom. It was like, man, that was smooth. He tricked everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the one thing they were saying. It was like, well, the 4th of July is coming and they're going to send people to Switzerland or wherever to have peace talks. And it was like, I saw that yesterday or the day before, Friday. And all of a sudden I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It's like,
turn on a dime.
Guess what? I saw like clips of it, the briefs this morning, but they were talking about, the timeline in which, those bombers left this country to when they hit to the time they got out. And they're like, yeah, we have no reported basically retaliation or fire back on any of these planes that went in there. So, wow. Between the planes and the Tomahawks that went in there, and
so correct me if I'm wrong. There were how many planes were there? There were 6.
Oh, there was more than that, according to
I thought it was 6.
It may have been 6. I may be wrong.
And then one of the places got hit with the Tomahawks from the
submarine.
That was the first, I think. Yeah.
Now Jim said that neighbor I was told he said his neighbor was cussing him out, him and his neighbor across the street, who is also a Marine, out because they voted for Trump. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody gets worked up about this stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's one thing I saw on the. I didn't get up to watch it. So the briefing this morning, because Trump said last night, there'll be a briefing this morning. I was looking at videos online, but they were, however many bombers went out, some went east, some went west.
When
that was all part of it.
When they were
The diversionary thing. It was like, they sent some out over the Pacific, some went over the Atlantic, and it's amazing. So this isn't something that was just, in the last 24, 48 hours. It's like, okay, this is
they've been
something
playing.
that's, well, and a lot of that goes in the hand with Israel, the stuff that was going on there. So, a lot of people are going to have their own opinions on a lot of things, but it's with that country, it's like, okay, you guys live in peace, but you can't hold the world at arm's reach, and you're going to do this, you're going to do that. My biggest concern is Russia, but I don't know what Russia can really.
I saw today that they said they were going to join the war or something like that, but I don't know if that was true.
Yeah.
That was one of those Facebook posts that who knows? I don't know. I never know what's true and what's not true, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it was on Facebook, so it has to be true.
Oh yeah. The face pages.
Facebook's 100% honest all the time.
Yeah.
It only makes sense.
Yeah. I got on earlier this afternoon finally and looked, and these people that I knew, like high school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like it's amazing to look at it and like, we support Iran, that we're trying to be a tyranny country. And I'm like, what world, leave the state of Pennsylvania and actually go someplace and actually experience these people that.
Jim said Russia said they're going to give Iran nuclear warheads. Holy moly.
Oh yeah. That's, I just don't get.
That's a bad day right there.
Yeah.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, good, Vic.
Hey, Vic. Yeah, it's nice for you to be right there, but you.
Yeah, he's down there visiting all the establishments at Disney.
Drinking with your cookie grit. What did he have?
Him and Mickey Mouse.
Cockeyed glass. He was sitting there. Drinking out of.
Mickey Mouse are drinking some drinks right now. Having a good time, I'm sure. I love it. Well, hey, one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight, and I posed this question on the face pages, but I was talking about the veteran service organizations and even a lot of the nonprofits for individuals that have other than honorable or any of the other discharges like that they don't. They can't join a veteran service organization. And they also, a lot of the nonprofits won't help them out, even if they're veterans. So I posed a question of, hey, is there a amnesty type thing that you could do, or something that probationary period type of deal that we could do? I don't know. There has to be something. In my opinion, there has to be something. But even if it's like, this is my biggest complaint is if I got out on an honorable discharge, but in the civilian sector, I got a felony, which if you were in the Marine Corps and you got out like that, well, you'd probably get some sort of negative discharge. But I can still join the veteran service organizations because I was a civilian when it happened. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And you still get benefits. You still get everything. Yeah.
Yeah. But turn the tables around, right? Somebody that's got it other than honorable discharge, turn around. They have nothing on the record. They've been great person in society, all that type of stuff, but they can't join because they have that other than honorable on there. So my I guess proposal, if you will, would be at least have them come in as what's it called? An associate member, and then do a trial period with them. We're used to the 3-year good conduct medal, right? They do 3 years as an associate member, and maybe they can move on to be a full-fledged member to kind of prove themselves, if you will. But what do you guys think about that?
I I would be definitely for something like that, and even just like the VA, uh, with the veterans, the VA administration, if you have at least one honorable discharge, there's benefits that you still rate, even though you have another honorable as you uh, ended your service.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I would like I said, I think you're right, Andrew. Some type of probationary period, prove yourself type thing, and as being a model citizen, and then you should be able to move on to another level of membership.
Yeah.
I would support that.
Yeah. Vic says he and Mickey Mouse are bros, and then he
Yeah,
was
see that.
probationary. That's the word I was looking for. He's not normally he's here to correct me on my stupidity, but he's a little late on that one.
Have another cigar, Vic.
Yeah, I know. Jim says that's not necessarily a bad idea on a case by case basis. I would say they're definitely going to have to be a case by case type of thing. I mean, they're going to have to review it. I mean, everybody that applies to a veteran service organization, it still has to go up and they have to get reviewed. Now, what all entails a review, I'm not 100% certain. I'd have to figure that piece of the pie out, but I would imagine they're going to look at it like, if you got it other than honorable, they're going to ask questions. Okay, why this, that, how have you been doing since? That would be the questions I would ask. Have you gotten in trouble since your other than honorable discharge?
Yeah.
And then kind of go from there. But there's going to have to be, I don't know, I guess some rules put into place, something to be able to figure those types of things out.
Definitely.
Of course he is. Yeah, he's drunk, he said. Joseph, rock. Oh man, that's good.
Well, the big thing, Andrew, you've talked, we've had, multiple organizations, on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Great organizations. I don't think any of us will deny that, what they do, but there's always that disclaimer.
Yeah.
You got to have, honorable discharge or general discharge, but there's no, and a lot of that is, I think, for legal reasons. I may be wrong in that. I don't understand that.
I would think that some of that would have to do with because they're congressionally chartered.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
But I know that you can petition to try to change the rules and things like that. I mean, I know that's there.
That's great, but I understand that. But when you stop and look at it, what these organizations are trying to do, and I don't think anybody will deny the good and the benefit that they're doing, but you've got to look at, there's a whole blanket of people that have unfortunately screwed up or did this or did that. But like Mark was saying, you had not one honorable discharge re-enlisted, not two honorable discharge re-enlisted, not three, 4.
Yeah.
And, we've got to look at the system at some point, but it's like, okay. And I get, okay. And I can't remember her name for the last, was that Thursday? It was the, was the organization. It was something.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to put you on my mind went blank because I knew it and I completely just forgot
Marines
it.
Foundation.
Focus Marine, yes. She said, you literally have to talk to me and tell me in detail. And it's like, okay, I get it. But in the same sense, it's like, all right, how much more do you need? And you sit there and if you were convicted of a crime, great. I mean, that's just, it is what it is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But you've got people that weren't.
Yeah.
but still discharged. And that's just the military in general. I'm not going to say the Marine Corps, but I want to say it's, because and I'll say the Marine Corps because that's who we're all United States Marines, that they want to distance themselves as far away from you as possible.
Yeah.
And then you deal with the consequences because of your actions.
Yeah. And I have a hard time with it personally because we talk about no Marine left behind, right? That's the big thing that we talk about.
Right.
And then all of a sudden we're not going to help these Marines out. I mean, you got Marines.
Yeah.
Well,
no Marine left behind except.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's just it. And until you're in that position, you don't really realize that.
Yeah.
And then even Andrew, you said these they're congressionally charted.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at some of the derelicts that are in the Congress.
That's true. That's
that's the sad thing is we've all served with these people,
right?
That are in these organizations, and it's like, well, how the hell did you have 3 DUIs?
Yeah,
but you could do this, or how did and it's I know one unit in particular where there was staff NCOs having affairs with junior Marines' wives.
Yeah.
And they got to retire.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, I know.
It happens.
Explain that to me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you guys watched the episode. I think it was last Friday. Dan, anyways, Marine Colonel retired, he's a Lieutenant Colonel retired now, but Dan Wilson, thank you. But Dan Wilson, he got accused and convicted and spent 3 years in the brig, and eventually it was overturned, but still ended up with other than honorable whenever he got out, and reduced from colonel to lieutenant colonel is what his pay grade retirement was, which is pretty wild. So, and there's story after story like that, that it's pretty wild. There's another podcaster out there. She's doing stories on this all the time. She's actually currently in the Navy, which is pretty wild. She has a podcast and she's in the Navy doing stuff. But it's insane. There's all kinds of stories out there, and I think if we can start talking about it more, especially a podcast platform that seems to be doing pretty well in a lot of the circles, right? You got the president, vice president, you got all these guys coming on these podcasts. Of course, they haven't come on my podcast, so I'm a little upset about that. But we're the wave of the future, Yeah. We gotta figure something out with it though. But I know there's ways you can petition it to try to change the rules, things like that. So I'm looking into all those things and seeing what I can do on my end. I think it's important. What else you guys want to talk about? Anything
well,
else?
I believe you're absolutely right, Andrew. It's at the end of the day, we were all Marines. We were held to a different standard. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read.
Yeah. No, Jim, you're right. Boot camp, they love to brag on the Marines who didn't do things right. Chesty Puller's the one said, take me to the brig and show me the real Marines.
Yeah. Well, I think he's talking about different things at that point, but
yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying. And you can, and Mark, you could probably talk to this more, but you have Marines that do incredibly well in a combat environment, but they get home in the garrison environment and then they struggle. They get in trouble, they get demoted, all these things, and then they go back to combat and they're excellent at what they do. That happens all the time.
It does, and it's happened throughout history like that.
Yeah.
But the problem is that's what everybody wants, and that's what we all want. As far as Marines, you want those people.
Yeah.
But then bring them back home and let them loose, and everybody's all upset and mad about it. And yeah, there's got to be some, there's got to be some understanding. And okay, you can't do this, you
Yeah,
can't
you
do
can't have
that.
savages running around,
Yeah, but
in public.
Yeah.
It's the cadence. It's like, this is what we asked for. It's like, okay, well, this is what you wanted. But
Yeah.
like Mark, you still have to be human. You still have to be civilized. You can't
True.
be a cage monkey let go. I'm sorry, I don't mean to
Right,
say it
right.
like, you know what I'm saying, but it's like, but at the end of the day, we all went in as human beings. We're all human. Every single one of us is, religious or not, you are not free of wrong. You're
Mhm.
not free of sin. You're not free of uh, being perfect. I mean, there's not a single one of us
That's a
like
true
that,
statement. Yeah.
and I fault some things with, at least when I was in, Mark, you may, I actually believe like yourself, Mark, and Andrew, you know, you guys were in senior leadership positions where you actually tried to make a difference. But above
Right.
us, there was people that, even before that, they didn't want to make a difference. And it's hard when you're put in certain positions.
Yeah.
We're looking at
Dan
Army's
says,
got them too.
Dan says the Army's got them too. And then he also
Yeah, we
says
already know that, Dan.
Harrison, all the schools, their record book looks tight, but yeah, you're right there. Yeah. Get those guys downrange and they fold. The opposite is true too. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely right. Yeah.
But you have people in positions where they can't, maybe it's better now. I pray to God it's better now, where you've got, soldiers and sailors and Marines and, airmen can go and talk to senior leadership and say, hey, something's not right here.
Yeah.
But me personally, I keep reading. Come on now.
Absolutely. We did try to make a difference, and I took care of wounded soldiers for 7 years in the Army. It was still a mess, guys. Yeah. From Alan Stark.
But, it'd be nice to know that, there were resources available, but everybody had a fear of using those resources. It's like, okay, can I go talk to somebody, or, what's it going to do to my career? You guys are all.
Look at this real quick, Dan. I got to say this, Dan, you definitely don't talk like an enlisted guy, and I don't appreciate you using all these big words, but guys are stalwarts. I can't even say it, man, in a firefight, but they can't stay sober, clean, etc. Yeah. You sure you're enlisted, Dan? I think you're full of it, man. Absolutely, because it could hunt them and destroy them for sure. Yeah. Anyways, we got a lot of participation today, huh?
So can I ask who's Dan?
Dan Baker. He's one of the guys from Tracer Burnout that's been on before.
Oh, that's right. I knew the name. I saw it, but I couldn't remember.
Dan's been pretty faithful. He comes on every Sunday to make comments. He's one of our regular watchers.
I thought it was him, but I didn't want to say anything and be.
I'm telling you. Well, what else? What else we want to chat about? Anything else happening? You did mention that you did have some good news, a good news story. Maybe we should hit up a good news stories for a little bit. What do you think?
Mark's got good news.
What's Mark's got good news?
Yeah.
Well, hey, we're gonna do good news.
On what?
You both have good news, so I'm ready.
I don't know of any good news.
Oh,
Mark, you are. Excuse me, Sergeant Major. You are always full of good news. Man, after the other night, man, you put me in my place, and I'm like, yeah, Sergeant Major. Yes, Sergeant Major.
What are you talking about?
It's like,
You hurt me deeply, AJ.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, quit using all the big words, man. Come down to my level. You need to eat a couple of crayons or something. Jeez.
No, I'm offended. I never ate a damn crayon in my life. Seriously?
Hey, I like the green ones.
I would like to know where that came from.
Yeah, me too. I
We're
won't lie to you. That's actually, it's like we're bottom of the barrel, so we just sit there, little kids, and
yeah, good.
I see that sometimes, and I'm like, kind of pisses me off. I'm like, seriously, you gonna call me a damn crayon eater? I like to
just
think I'm
embrace
more
it. It's like
intelligent
when
than.
everybody called us, leatherneck or whatever. I just embrace it.
Well, leatherneck's fine. Maybe when I sat and watched you draw your range cards, you had a damn purple crayon in your hand. But
Well, I mean,
you
gotta show the difference in your perimeter and the river out there, right?
yeah.
So
Well, at least give me credit. Give me the big green pencil when I was in kindergarten that I held like this. Over a crayon. It's like, really?
big 2 and 3 syllable words. I like it.
Yeah.
Laugh at that. I did when my daughter bought me edible ones. Oh, there's edible ones out. Yeah, we need to get some of those. That's what I'm talking about. We'll eat those as snacks on the podcast. Be good.
Uh-oh.
Chris Army, yes. My retarded ass son.
Alan's throwing out words there. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he is.
Gonna get canceled, Alan, saying stuff like that.
Alan's gonna get canceled.
Calm down now.
Throwing out the bad words.
Yep.
Oh man. All right. Mark has got no good news. All his news is bad. So
Yep.
The bad news he's got is his steak's burning.
Well, do we want to talk about some bad news before the good news? What do we want to do?
No. All right. Well, I'll go into it. I actually saw this article. I've actually got a couple. Uncle Sam ain't released me yet. Okay. Can I ask who Alan is?
Alan, correct me if I'm wrong.
Why does that? The name's familiar to me, but I don't know why
I think Alan has come on the podcast before, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that correct, Alan? I can't click on your thing to see your. I just see an itty bitty face. I can't see who it actually is. Like, I need to see a face. I don't know. I can't really see it.
All right.
Let us know, Alan.
Yeah. Leave us the hell alone, Alan. I'm trying to talk here.
Yeah, I was right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he's been on the podcast before. So he's just checking us out.
I got you.
Yeah.
You don't even keep track of who's on your damn podcast.
Go for it. Tell them. Oh man, what was that about? I missed it.
I don't know.
Tell us the good news. Is that what he's saying? Yeah, tell us.
I got a couple here. This one I've been holding on to. This is from May.
Oh God. Hey, I have a violation warning on the TikTok.
Probably the bomb.
I don't know. It says it was flagged for hate speech and hateful behavior. Repeated.
Yeah, it was probably the RE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, TikTok.
That's my guess.
Sorry. Mean old TikTokers out there, Gotta love it.
All right. Well, I'll do my best to try to make it better.
That's true, Jim. That is true. I'm really good with faces, and I'm really bad with names. I'm horrible with names. I apologize. Yeah.
I'm the same way. My wife's like, "Hey, you remember so and so?" I'm like, "Remember your face, but I don't remember who the heck you are." I couldn't tell you what.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead. Good news, man. Bring it.
Oh, okay. Well, I said.
Let's hear some
this was from May. Hero gamer thwarts attacks on California schools by reporting teens discussing bomb intentions online.
Whoa.
It said for more than a decade, parents have been inundated with unsubstantiated claims that violent video games influence kids and teens to be violent. Now from California comes the story of exactly the opposite occurring. A teenage gamer who routinely engages in virtual violent video games took an action to prevent violence from actually happening. They're talking about, what is it? Tour of Duty or what?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, yeah.
All those types of warfighting games.
Said on May 11th in Tehama County, California. Mark, I don't know where that's at. But members from the Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit carried out a search warrant on 2 houses in, it's saying particular houses. Inside, 2 juveniles, ages 14 to 15 were found to be in possession of improvised explosive devices, guns, and a manifesto explaining their motives behind a yet-to-be-carried-out attack in their minds, which would kill a set of parents and hopefully 100 people at Evergreen Middle School in Cottonwood, California.
Holy cow.
Wow.
They had big ambitions. Holy moly.
Now in juvenile detention waiting formal prosecution, the media has been informed that the search warrants were approved based on the information provided by an as of yet identified and not to be named video gamer from Tennessee of the same age who heard the imprisoned pair discussing their plot while they were playing video games online.
Wow.
Along with their comments, the hero, as they're calling this kid, young kid, this teenage kid, was able to receive a photo from the 2 teens in which they were dressed in clothes dressed similar to the Columbine high school shooters.
Wow.
All this was revealed at a press conference by Tehama County Sheriff, who took questions from the media before eventually inviting and expressing his hope that young men like this would step forward and actually, when they hear things, say something, and they acknowledge his heroism. The sheriff said, in the end, I'd like to celebrate this young man. This particular young man from Tennessee has no connection to any of these students, but he still did the right thing. This young hero focused his attention on the event when it is focus the attention on him. This young man had the courage and the hero instincts to call our agency, looked us up online, called us, and told us and notify us in order to mitigate any possible threats to our citizens.
Good for him.
So that's a young teenage kid.
That county is Los Angeles up north, is what Alan said.
Gotcha.
Oh, he was in Colorado in high school when Columbine happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's where we're at, with, kids today. My son, I say kids today, my son's 27, but, they play, he gets on Xbox and they sit and play with people all over the country.
Yeah.
But,
that's one of the things that I'm talking about with people to do fundraisers, have gaming tournaments. And there's an organization in Texas. I reached out to them. They actually provide gaming systems to veterans with PTSD, those types of things. They'll provide game systems to kind of just get them doing something different, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they'll give it to different organizations to have big gaming things going on. It's pretty neat deal. I can't remember the name of the organization, but.
Yeah, but the simple fact, and I read the article, I was like, man, that's pretty neat. A teenage kid, I'm assuming he's about the same age, 14, 15, 16, whatever. But, there's enough going on in the world, in this country alone. That's like that he actually sat and figured it out, and he actually made a phone call.
Yeah.
To say, hey, something's not right here. I'm just, kind of letting you know.
It gives you faith in the new generations as they're coming up, knowing that there's somebody out there that's doing good.
When I was a kid, it was raised right. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is a game. But, it's sad that we live in a world where, and it's not any different. It wasn't any different 20, 30, 40 years ago. But, now it's so much easier to try to do something like that. I don't get why you would want to do that and try to harm people like that. But, unless they were kids that were being bullied and no one was listeing to them and, stuff like
that's what they
that. But
say
in the
is,
same sense, but
one, the big push is they're desensitized
yeah,
to video games and those types of things. They don't understand the consequences of those
Yeah.
actions. That's one thing. And then two, like you were saying, a lot of them are bullied and stuff like that. So, I can
Yeah.
see it. Well, you gentlemen have a great evening. Thank you for letting me join and say a couple of words. God bless you. All right, you too, Alan. Take it easy, man. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty wild. It's crazy out there.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring it back to something more even more exciting. Thursday's podcast is we're going to have Phantom back on because Phantom is sending me a painting, but we're going to reveal the painting on Thursday's podcast, which is going to be fun. And we're going to talk about the potential of our oh man, what do you do? An auction. Because we're going to try and do a live event. I'd like to do it sometime around 4th of July type of thing, but do a live event where he does the painting and then we auction that painting off. And then I'm going to try to get some, maybe some local vendors, somebody like that to kind of donate some stuff as well to help with auction. And then the money that we get from that, try to give it to an organization. And that's one of the things we'll talk about on Thursday is, okay, what organization do we want to give stuff to? And maybe come to a consensus on that as well. But should be pretty cool. Maybe.
Should be.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I gotta reach out to him and see if he's, I know he kind of likes to do, his own spin on things. So,
yeah.
Curious to see if he'd be willing to do something.
Well,
if I send him a picture, send him a picture and say, hey, could you do this? So,
yeah, he definitely does commissions and stuff. And I don't know if you guys saw it. I posted it. He did a astronaut.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw it today. Yeah,
cool. He does some really cool stuff with his painting, and it's neat. I can't wait for it to get here. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'd like to have him do something for my daughter with her and her dog and
that'd be
stuff
cool.
like that. I'd like to, it'd be one of a kind. That's all it is. So,
Jim, he says it sounds good. Jim's gonna help us out with the auction. Isn't that right, Jim? You're gonna do all the auctioning. I'm gonna tag Jim to do that. No, I don't know how to do. You guys know how to do the silent auction stuff like online? Like if we did a thing and then we showed all the different stuff on the live, and then give it like what would you say, a week of bidding, something like that, maybe. I don't know.
It'd be like putting something on eBay,
Yeah, I mean, surely there's a
that I don't know. I can't lie to
he
you.
says, sure, why not? Jim, how do you do it? That's my question.
We can have Mark sitting there going, hey, give me a 50, 50, 50, 20.
Let's hear your best auctioneer. Oh, that was pretty good. Yeah, Mark's an auctioneer over here. I like it. Yeah, but we'll figure that out on Thursday for sure. And then I'll do some research because there's got to be a way to go online and put all the stuff on there and then people bid in real time type of deal. And then after so long or whatever, boom, this is the person that gets it, and then we just ship it off to them.
Yes. Yeah. Do it. You could start it on Thursday, and then Sunday we close it out on the show.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, highest bidder wins. Yeah, I
Right.
like that. Do it on a Thursday, and then on the Sunday,
Started on a Thursday, and then
we'll
we
let
ended on
Announce it on the
Sunday.
show. Yeah.
Right on the show.
That's
We ended
good.
right on the show.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, July 3rd is a Thursday.
Is a
Is that right?
Thursday. It is. It is.
Yeah, that means I got to get off my butt and go get some donations. Yeah, I got to do that. That's right around the corner, man. Yeah. And updated. He says updated all week and promote it. Yeah.
And I think the Ton Tavern, the 250 Ton Tavern, would be a good organization.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So we could
Okay.
get, keep involved with them too.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be the ticket right there. Yeah, I mean 250. We're looking good. We're looking spry. Woo. Man.
Yeah, we gotta get tired of hearing all about the Army's 250th. I'm about tired of listening to that.
No, okay. So the Army gets a whole daggum parade in DC.
Yeah.
Are they going to do that for all the different services? The Navy, and then the Marine Corps after that? I don't know. I haven't heard.
Yeah. I highly doubt it, but we'll see. If it goes the way it should go, it'd be no. That way we can just be the way we always were. And
yeah,
I guarantee that on June 14th, the almost every bar in around the world wasn't inundated with people celebrating the Army's birthday like it is with the Marine Corps.
Yeah, that's a true statement. Yeah.
I actually said that to the guy. I actually said that to the guy I work with. I said, "Hey, Al, happy birthday!" And he goes, "The hell are you talking about? It's not my birthday."
Yum says yes to.
So, weren't you in the Army? He goes, "Yeah."
Dan.
So what's today?
No, because the Army is awesome. Everyone else sucks. Hey, Dan, don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. It's all good, Dan.
Okay, Dan, you're listening. So do they teach that? We call it boot camp. I don't know what you call it. Basic training. Do they teach, like the Army birthday?
They have history, but they don't remember it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I was telling the guy I work with. I was like, happy birthday. He goes, what is my birthday? I was like, you were in the Army, right? And he goes, yeah. So today's your birthday. He goes, no, it's not.
You know what?
When was the Army birthday? When was the Army? What's the Army's birthday? He goes, how the hell should I know? I was like, really?
I was at the School of Music, and so for the Army birthday, I would stand at the front hatch, and every time a soldier walked in, I would hit the Army song, and I'd be like, "Happy birthday!" and they'd be like, "What are you
talking about?"
Well, that's sad.
Almost every time.
It's just maybe it's just us, but we don't have to have our own damn department. We have somebody that freaking takes our ass around because that's just the way we are.
You know what, Dan? I used to like you. Maybe one day you'll be boys and girls. Wow. Dan. Man. Dan's coming in lines now.
That's what Dan's like. Who?
We do have our own department. It's the men's department.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I like it.
He's forgetting what Marine stands for. Naval. What is it?
Huh? I didn't hear.
Naval Infantry. Marine. Naval Infantry.
Marine is naval infantry. Is that what he said? Yeah.
Marines are naval infantry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What
does Army stand for? What is
it?
Sit
on the ground, freaking eating.
Ain't ready to be a Marine yet.
Eating beefaroonies and freaking hot pockets out in the field with freaking microwaves and generators, and
that's the way to go to the field right there.
Yeah.
I
watched the video. I actually watched the video today, and she was a sergeant first class in the Army.
Yeah.
And she was going on about how bad it is to be in the field for 2 weeks. And, they got a big CP tent up.
Oh man, the Space Force has a department. Yeah, Space Force, man.
Uh,
You know what, Dan? I don't know if I'm gonna allow you on here. I'm gonna block you, and you're gonna.
Oh no, we can't do that. We got to have something to laugh at.
Oh man, that's good. That's good stuff. I love it. Well, you guys got anything else you want to chat about?
no.
No? Okay. Well, I guess we can go ahead and start wrapping this up. Thanks to everybody that joined us out there in the digital world, and yeah, I appreciate it. I'm trying to get my TikTok to continue. It said it wasn't going to, but we can go ahead and go into words of wisdom. All right, words of wisdom. Excited.
I guess I'm going first because Mark's always last. So the sergeant major always gets the last word. So
I mean, you can let him go first. This
no, I can't beat
doesn't
him.
bother me.
I can't beat him. So
I don't know. You may have a humdinger better than his this tonight. It's possible. Jim
Always
said
possible.
that Dan
It's
is
always
just jealous
possible.
he can't eat crayons.
gotcha.
All right.
Jealous, Dan?
Yeah,
Dan's jealous, or who's?
Yeah, Jim was saying that Dan was jealous he can't eat the crayons.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha. All right, this was quick and simple. Think before you speak, read before you think.
Yeah, that's smart. Good words. I like it. That's my problem. I don't think before I speak. I just speak and hope for the best.
I made it easy for Mark because he can say whatever now.
Yeah.
He'll be like,
So
he'll sit there and give us his sergeant major speech where we're like, oh, just get it over with it. Come on.
But this is Dan's words of wisdom here. Much wisdom often comes with the fewest words. All right.
Yeah, Sergeant Major. Remember that.
So Andrew, who's using all the big words? You kept asking me if he was an officer or not, or enlisted.
That's Dan.
That's Dan.
Okay. Yeah, Dan he's an enlisted guy, but he's pretending to be an officer. He's using all those big words.
So in honor of him, you know how they say the F around and find out, correct?
Yeah.
So in honor of Dan, we're now going to say, test your assumption and take note of your results.
Ooh, that's good.
Because a hard head always makes for a soft behind. And that's coming from my dad. That was my dad saying.
Hard head makes for a soft behind. That's good. That's good. You hear that, Dan? I hope you're listening. Yeah. Jim says, Semper Fi, Jim.
All right.
Dan left us. He gave up. He has nothing to come back on that one. All right. Well, hey guys, thanks for coming on and doing this. You guys always make the podcast. If it wasn't for you guys, that'd just be me sitting here talking to myself. So that's not near as much fun. Well, that's sometimes it is. I don't know.
Depends on how much you had to drink.
Love it. I'll be sure to tell Roger. Nice, Dan. All right. Well, hey, thanks again. I appreciate it, guys. To all the listeners out there, if you're struggling, need help, anything like that, don't forget the VA has some great resources. You can always dial 988, press option 1. You can always text 838-255, or you can go to veteranscrisisline.net and click on the chat icon. Any of those options will put you in contact with somebody that can help you out. But remember, one veteran life loss is one too many. I care about you. The crew cares about you. All these guys that are commenting care about you. So please reach out for help. And if you're out there, you're not struggling, reach out to the buddies you serve with, ask them how they're doing. And if they need that helping hand, please give it to them. All right, guys, one more time. Thank you very much to all the listeners. Stay motivated. Change your socks. Government said they make a man.